This is Trollbabe, and in it, it's a fantasy adventure game.
Okay.
It is an epic fantasy adventure game in a Nordic land of howling winds and beautiful springs and shaggy people and shaggier trolls.
Okay.
Now, each player character is playing a Trollbabe, which is not a race.
It's half one and half the other.
Well, certainly we know that, but we don't know if that's a matter of parentage or some spell or something. It doesn't matter. And there is no village of Trollbabes or people of Trollbabes across the mountain or something like that. Just forget it. You are a Trollbabe. And so here's the map, and you may be interested to know there is nothing on the map except for the names. So we will make up some things about anything, something. Right now, it's a pretty easy idea to understand what a Trollbabe is. They are 2 meters for them. It's too short. And they outswim. Or outrun, outclimb, outfight any person. And they are often treated like a troll by trolls, or like a human by humans, or the other way around, depending on whatever. And so what I suggest is if you could help him and you make up your Trollbabes. Which is pretty easy. And I will be busy with my pen, so you may need some writing tools for yourself.
Thank you. No, it's okay.
So tell me about what is the name of your Trollbabe?
The name of my Trollbabe is Ka. She has black smooth hairs with horns, long horns that start from the top of the head and curve behind her shoulder. They are dark brown, very dark brown. She uses troll magic and fight with melee arms, wars and so on. She's very
determinata. She's determined?
Yes.
Determined. Very determined. And she has an ornament, a metal ornament with 2 rings linked by metal wires that run in a spiral. And on the opposite shoulder, a skull, an animal skull.
Oh, well, okay.
And she has a short, like a part of the skin, has a skirt and a sword. And she usually walks barefoot.
Yes. Okay. And what Trollbabe are we looking at here?
So my Trollbabe is called Raska. Yeah, I chose it before him, so he copied me.
And without
I'm joking.
Without even knowing.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds good. We have Raska and Ska, and I am happy with this.
Okay.
And she used magic.
My number is 6.
6.
And my number is 4.
Okay.
She used magic troll. She fight empty-handed, and she's spooky. I don't know
yes, perfect.
Maybe spooky or creepy. You know that.
They are perfect words.
And she has not curly hair. You know the one when you like your
Mutton.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And then the horns are that way, really whitish. She's pale, completely pale, and has red hair. Not curly, but the one that you just wake up from.
Oh,
bed,
yes,
you know?
yes.
Roughly.
Yes.
And I have to tell you also my object.
Sure, yes.
For the human object, she has a knife. And as a troll object, she has a necklace full of troll tooth.
Okay.
And then she's really pale, so almost whitish. and it has worn out dressing.
Yes.
With wolfskin as a mantle, and with wolf head as a helmet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. Well, I think we have a pretty good. Yeah. Lots of skulls. Lots of yes. Now, what I have to tell you, yes, is you will pick a spot that you are going to. If you want to, you can go to one of these. This is some spot in there somewhere. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But it's just if you feel like getting a little closer into things, then you can choose. But you can go wherever you want. But it is where your Trollbabe is going right now. Is just
It's
getting
not there.
Yeah, just arriving there.
Okay.
One each.
Yes, but you can choose to do the same one.
Okay. I will say.
I know it's like the Holgar, somewhere near the forest or near the mountain. It's better, I think.
Okay, up into these mountains by
exactly.
Hogard.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say.
Oh, you okay? Okay, so you are going to be in this area out here.
Yeah.
Okay, so different places. So let's see. Mountains.
If you prefer, I can go here.
Don't.
Just tell us.
No, I cannot.
Okay.
By the rules, I cannot.
No, di base il gioco sono personaggi separati.
Ok.
Cioè, anche fossimo stati tutti e due qua avremmo avuto due avventure separati, c'era la possibilità di incontrarsi, ma di base sono avventure separate.
Okay.
All right. So, to tell you what it's like where you are, if you look over in those mountains of Holmgard, you will see that it's a pretty wild-looking area because you have the ships that sail down that sea, that narrow sea. But to go into the land in there is not very hospitable at all. Not very. And so maybe there are a little community there and places like that for trade and things right there. But after that, once you get up past those and into this mountain area, this is where humans do not go.
Yeah.
Those are troll lands. And so, especially when you get into these mountains, they are really serious mountains. Once you're in them, there's when you get up on top and look at the mountains to see what is around, you see more mountains.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Yes,
perfect.
So
I choose the right place.
Perfect, and the lakes are small, and there are thousands of them.
Okay.
Thousands of these cold lakes at different elevations and things everywhere. So. You have come into this area, and it is very clear to you that that you have entered troll lands that have been lived in for a long time, because there are ancient stones and that have been set long ago, and then there are new. I guess you would say magic trinkets, things that have been hung on the trees in particular places, and they have been replaced. They are looking new, so somebody is taking care of this. And so it's not every tree and every rock or something, but through a day's travel, you will say, all right, I am on somebody's land. And something like that. So we will stop there to hop over here to take a look. Now you, on the other hand, this is far, far, far away from the sea. And the people who live in this area, to them, everything is the river. This is the biggest river on the map, this big split river. And both of them flow to this point of the sea. So anything that is, this is the completely ecological defining feature of life for this entire region. For the people who live away from it, it's nowhere. They live nowhere. The Sforza is almost synonymous with nowhere. And why would you live there? The people who live there must be, completely inconsequential. I mean, what is this? However, the hundreds of villages in the area would disagree. but they don't travel very much. So some of them travel from place to place to place to place, but they don't travel anywhere else. So in this area, you have come and you are looking very, wild and exotic, and especially with the people with their flat hats and their oxen and their wagons. Sometimes a whole village is just wagons. In fact, that's actually pretty common. They stop and they pull down the sides of the wagons, and it's a building. And pretty soon they can set up a town pretty fast. So that's what you have come upon. Is in fact you might even be watching to see them do this, and that's a pretty new sight for you. And they seem to have whatever else is going on. They seem to do a lot of baby making, because there are children from all ages, all the way up the line, and there's a whole bunch of them, and they are either underfoot or they are doing something. As far as the immediate area you are in, this is an area with a wide, muddy lake that's kind of, I don't know, to somebody who's familiar with the mountains and the ocean, it doesn't look very clean, but they seem to like it. So, the animals are getting water and the people are setting up. Again, if you didn't see it with your own eyes, you would have thought this was a permanent village.
Yeah.
Maybe the villages you have walked through, you were like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did they roll there too, to each of those spots? So that's the kind of thing. You are seeing a very social situation. And the trees are not very tall. They go up to a certain level, and then they become flat and wide. So a lot of those. And you have seen nobody traveling alone. So that is what you are looking at. Now, I'd like to know a little bit more about how you address the potential social situations you are in, and how you want to proceed with what your character does.
Vuoi andare tu o
Vai. Se hai già in mente qualcosa.
improvviso?
Okay, then I keep watching them for a little bit. Then I approach them. So I walk slowly towards them. And if they saw me, I raise a hand in salute.
Okay. Well, they certainly see you. That is not going to be a difficult or normal. And the first thing that will happen is all of the younger children stop what they are doing and stare, and they are instantly grabbed by the older children or mothers and pulled away. And there's a generally, shocked and slightly defensive response. In a little while, some of an older man and woman and some people in that age range are making gestures toward you, like 1 minute, just wait, seeing if you're going to do anything dangerous. Yeah, okay. And so they're seeing if you do anything dangerous, but they're kind of maintaining a contact with you.
I say, I mean no harm if you mean no harm.
Mm-hmm. And one says, harm us? No. This is a land of peace and plenty. One moment. And sooner or later, a man comes out who is putting on a robe that has some ornaments on it and a big thing around his neck, big symbol, right? And this guy will come up to you and at this, when he walks up, everybody maintaining distance kind of makes more of a semicircle, about 50 people really, and they are all looking a little nervous and very, very curious, all of them. And
I'm calm.
Yeah, excellent. And the older guy, adjusts his robe and realizes everybody is watching. Pauses for a moment. and then walks to you, almost as though he was almost about to tell them to go away, but realized that probably that wasn't going to happen. So he comes up to you and says, "Blessed is the sun, blessed is the sky," and makes a move. And then he says, "Blessed is the earth, blessed is the womb." And then it kind of blinks a little bit when he realizes just how female you are and what he just said. And then makes the gesture.
Okay.
And then he turns to the crowd and makes these large gestures, and he says, "All is well, all is blessed. Go in peace." Even though "go in peace" is clearly this ritual phrase, most of them do exactly the opposite, and you are mobbed by curious people.
I put a hand on the shoulder of the old man, and I say, "I thank you for your welcome. I'm a wanderer for just arriving on this lands, and I was just noticing your village. I didn't know there were mobile villages."
He says, "Then what would you do when you needed to move?"
Usually the villages I use with doesn't need to move.
Barbarians, he said, that will ruin the land.
That's an interesting concept.
So he shakes his head at the strange ways and says, "Well," and quickly, before anybody really gets to start asking questions, leans to you and says, "No witch stuff. It will make me look bad." And goes away.
Okay, then I look around me for a bit to just to see if there is some reaction.
Well, now you are subject to a slightly very curious and perhaps a little rude inquiries and questions and interactions. It's hard to answer very easily. You are not really in any kind of danger, but let us see what they do with you. Let's say there is some question about whether the clearly most prosperous family is going to get to have you, or whether you're going to be turned over to kind of a collective of all the people who do the dirtiest jobs. So all you can tell is that there seems to be a little bit of a dispute about where you will eat dinner. But looking a little bit more, you can kind of see there's a kind of a class issue here. So do you want to care? Do you want to influence the situation particularly?
I try to speak to them all without speaking to no one in particular, and I say, "Do not fret over me. It's whatever is your custom. It's fine by me."
Okay, so you will take your die, and your target number is 4 because it is the worst of the two numbers. Right, for social?
Okay, sure. Okay.
Is that the way we are doing it, I believe?
Okay, I misremembered the rule.
Double check, it changed a couple of times.
I misremembered perché questo è che mi si è ricordato male una cosa.
That's actually pretty far after.
Ok, sì, mi ricordavo male, vedi se vuoi cambiarlo. È 1-4 perché non è come te avevo detto, ma è il peggiore tra i due. My fault. Sarebbe 1-4 perché è il peggiore tra i due, ma con il numero compreso.
Okay.
Right.
Vuoi cambiarlo?
No.
My fault.
Yeah. You take the worst one, but it is inclusive.
I didn't remember that. So it's 1-5. No, one. It's
One.
No 6-10 was.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, 6-10. Okay, mine was right.
For social.
Yes.
Let's say.
Yeah.
So in this case,
You are
it should
right.
be I'm right.
You're right.
Should I be 1-4?
No, it should be 1 through 4.
1 to
Yeah.
1 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see how you do.
5.
Oh, well, that means that at the moment they both clans or groups anyway feel kind of insulted, and they're like, no,
Right.
she will stay with us. No, we will stay with us. And then you say your piece, and they both look at you. Look at each other, and you can see there's a less enthusiasm about. In fact, they're kind of trying to argue about getting rid of you now. You take her. No, you take her. You came off a little spooky in that one, like, ooh, no, it's scary. And so, no, determined. You look like you're up to something. You look determined. You look, I will go with whoever there. That's a lot of gun to take into our house, they think.
So they keep bickering about this? Or?
They are bickering, yes. But they are, but sooner or later, you're going to have to go with the poor collection of people. But not that is necessarily bad, it's just that they have less status, so they lose the argument.
So,
How are you inconvenienced a little bit by this? You're going to be inconvenienced a little bit by this.
Honestly, if they keep bickering about this, I didn't come to this land to hear people bickering. So I just turned to go to the old man.
I see. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so
cares about the bickering?
That's right. So you're going to go and with that. Okay, so
I mean, with the old man, I followed the old man who greeted me.
Yes, absolutely. And so, how about you? What will you do?
I think that when I see the signs on the trees, I will go check them. So looking at them, and maybe with my knife trying to correct them. Maybe they are different compared to my magic. So I will likely try to compare them.
I think quite a bit of troll spirits are going to be unhappy with you, and so I think it is going to descend down upon you like a ton of ancestral bricks.
Yeah, maybe.
So
I'm not sure.
Let's try your magic.
So I will have to do 5 to 10, right?
Yes. The whole.
Yeah.
So tell me, how do you? Oh, I will say how you succeed.
I think.
Wait, I will say.
Okay.
Tu dici come hai successo e tu dici come vai.
So you tell me how I succeed, and I tell you how I fail.
Yes.
Okay.
And failure has some specific levels,
Okay.
so you know what to go by.
Okay.
Right. And success is success. So, actually, a bunch of the spirits begin to sing. They swarm upon you, and you see the faces fading in and out between the trees, and an ancient, the oldest one, of a full-breasted ancient troll mother, the shade, who is actually one with the trees herself. It's really like the trees are talking when she talks, and she sings deep and low and powerful, and is thanking you. You can feel the power of this land course through you as the spirits sing, as you have adjusted the way that perhaps the ways had been altered a little bit, as time went by, and now you have,
favor.
Yes, and furthermore, she sweeps back her hands, and the way through those trees where there wasn't really a trail or anywhere to go before now seems clear. She walked beautifully right down there, and you can see in a little part of the woods there is a little troll child sitting in some plants and trees, plants and bushes.
Okay. I think that I'm likely I bow a little bit to her.
Yes.
And then I move through the path in order to reach the child.
Yes.
I will look from my upper position to him, just to, and I stay like there. Like if I'm looking at something, not really at someone, because just to look at him, and then I will likely, without saying anything, take his head and look at him in the eye. You know?
Yes, yeah, and so the troll child looks at you and is a little startled because you are kind of a spooky-looking lady, and but you still have like the aura of the goddess upon you, and relaxes a little bit, and takes your hand and says, "Help?" Like as if it were possible anytime ever to get some help. Help? Like a question? Could you?
I'm asking. I want to ask him. Do you live here?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you?
This is a little troll child.
Yeah.
Size-wise, not so little from a human point of view, but it's very an infant almost. And he says, Raji. Mm-hmm. Raji, I am Raji, and like a little kid wants to know your name.
I don't tell him my name.
Okay.
Where's your tribe? I don't know. Family? I don't know how they live.
Mm-hmm. And he squeaks and shouts, "Help!" and jumps behind you as you are hearing crashing in the forest. Crash. Bushes are breaking, and there's slamming against tree trunks and a roar of rage.
Okay. And I keep the child behind me, and I look in that direction. Maybe I also go towards the direction where the...
Yes, that's probably an interesting idea, because right then a whole tree is broken with the force of a wrenching blow, and two male trolls spill out of the forest at that point, and they are clearly fighting.
Okay.
Both of them have been
they have one each other,
and they're bitten and scratched, and they are been fighting so violently that even the tree at that point was broken.
Okay.
And so each one is bigger than you. I don't know if your character is used to that, but that's two full-size bull trolls, each one bigger than you, and that's a lot of muscle in one spot.
Okay.
So and they're furious with one another and ready, and it's now that they are coming. One has fallen into the this clear area. The other one comes jumping out, and so angry that he stumbles over something, to get out. It's graceful, and they are focused on each other, and they see you, and both of their furious eyes
come to me,
lock on you.
Okay, that's a good situation.
Not so bad.
I'm not used to that big trolls, but I'm not so scared. So I think that I will make use of the signs in the forest. So I will try to use my magic to block the two of them separated. So use the trees to separate them and to cage them.
Yes. Okay.
And in order to do so, I'm putting my hands in the tree with the sign. The one. No, it's not the one that I touched earlier, but it's another one. And I trace another sign with my knife. I almost correct the sign with my knife, and then I try to cage them separately.
Excellent.
And I try.
Yes.
So let's hope so.
8. Yes. Oh, excellent.
I'm so lucky.
So far, until you are not. Until you are not. And so what happens, of course, is that the trees, it's almost as though you don't see them move, but they must have, because now that's where they are. And the two of them, they can see that this is you. That the sign, glows with spirit light, and the trees mysteriously shift and everything. And the two of them are caged, fall, but one of them hurls himself against the trees. The other one and is furious at you and says, witch, go from our lands, go from our lands. I will eat you. I will eat you. You are an intruder, an outsider. Die. And just so angry at being caged, every possible, age. And so the other one, who is just as angry, has noticed the little boy because you had moved away from him to come close. So he's kind of visible now. Now notices him and goes, "You." He goes, there you are, Raji. Come here, come to Papa now. Come. And the other troll, seeing that, screams with rage.
Okay.
And says, "Stay away from him."
Okay. I look at the child without caring anybody else, and I say, "Do you know them?"
And he says, "Papa."
Which one? I asked him.
Help!
Yeah, I understand. And so I will. Which one is the one that is enraged with me? The papa one or the other one?
The other one. The so far papa one.
Yeah, we don't know if it's papa one.
Yeah.
And so I think that I will reach toward him outside of the cage, really, and then likely slap him and say, "Shut up. I'm not talking to you right now." Okay, and then I watch the other one and ask him, "Why your child is here alone?"
Right.
In the forest, and you are playing with your friend.
Social conflict.
Yeah, that's
big time.
That's
yes.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
exactly.
Now tell me how you are inconvenienced by the result.
I think,
and feel free to break anything in the environment.
I think that for two trolls really enraged like them, I'm not so scary,
Correct, but you must be physically or socially inconvenienced.
So okay.
Something
so
is
I'm
going
socially
to make them
inconvenient. Okay.
Yeah.
How can I be socially inconvenient?
Do you mind suggestions? Just as the beginning of getting into the game, he could break one of the trees that is encircling him, reach out his hand further than you thought he could get, grab you, slam your head against the tree trunk, and then that's kind of ruined your point.
I think that's better. Maybe if instead of slapping me, he pull me in.
Right, yeah. Come here, right.
Pull me inside the cage.
Yeah, you think you have us caged.
Yeah.
So yes, excellent. And so now you can choose whether to reroll. But if you reroll and fail, you will be hurt.
Okay.
Furthermore, there are your reroll items.
Okay.
And there are several.
Oh, okay.
But you can only use each one once. The
so
sheet is in the back.
I have to choose one reroll item and then reroll, right?
Correct.
Okay. If I want.
Wait.
Okay.
So just choose one of those.
Okay.
And then you would check it.
Okay.
And if you have to use one of those to reroll.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But when you make relationships,
I can use also relation.
The relationships become reroll items.
Okay. And if I don't reroll,
then you are just inconvenienced, and we stop.
And then okay. But I think that's.
But you really fail.
Yeah. And if I reroll, I should also still use social, right?
Yes.
It's
a reroll. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that I will reroll, and I will use an unexpected ally.
Yes.
Can I decide who it is?
Well, you should work with what we know.
Okay, so
There are some implications, some implied characters, if you want.
Okay, because
Or you
one
can,
of the, I think that the other troll can use
There you go.
me.
Yes, yes.
That was my idea. So I'm checking, I'm marking the. Okay, and then re-rolling.
Yes.
So he punches me.
Now you are hurt. Okay? So being hurt is going to matter because when you roll later, usually you would start with the first roll, and then you have your re-roll choices from there. Well, guess what? When you are hurt, you start with the next
from
one.
there. Okay. Yeah, from the re-roll.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm hurt. Okay. But I have to tell you what's happened.
Yes.
So I think that he wanted to try to help me, but he does worse. So he tried to take me, but the other
it's the opportunity for the other guy. Yeah.
The other, I don't know, throw him apart and then slap me on the ground.
Right.
To distance myself from him.
Right. With all of this, he might be effectively free now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And I don't think I want to reroll.
Oh, that's right. You can see what's coming, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So, excellent. We will take you from this unexpected and unpleasant circumstance